What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to give you guys a video about the Mercenary class, specifically the Gunslinger skills. There's more outward videos available on this channel, so please subscribe. And if you guys like rock or metal music, make sure to check out my band all the way from Bangkok, Thailand, called In Vice Versa. Links will be below. The Mercenary class can be a really fun class to use, especially when you're using a pistol. The class is a little difficult at first because you kind of have to learn the animations and how to move around and successfully get off your shots. Some of the shots require other things to be active before you can shoot them, so it's not just set in stone how to do. So hopefully this guide will be able to help you guys. The Mercenary trainer can be found in the city of Levant, which is in the Abrasar Desert. I think I'm saying that right. And he's right here on the map. I'll make a little red line so you guys can see him. In the Mercenary tree, there's 3 specific pistol related skills, and I'm going to show you guys in combat what they look like and also outside of combat. So first and foremost with this class is you're going to carry a pistol in your offhand, and you can see it. My guy has a pistol in his offhand right now. The most basic skill for this class is the fire reload skill. It's right there in my skill menu. Everybody already has this skill basically, I think, when you start the game. So all you have to do is have a pistol and you can use the pistol, but if you want to use the pistol skills, you have to invest into the Mercenary tree. Along with having to have a pistol, you have to have bullets too. The easiest way to acquire bullets is by going into the crafting menu, and you can see right here a bullet takes 1 thick oil as well as 1 iron scrap, and you can craft 3 bullets. So typically I like to have about 20 bullets or so on my guy, and I like to keep them in the pocket of my inventory. As you can see, they're right here. If they're in your book bag, when you drop your book bag and you're trying to use your fire reload skill, you're not going to have the bullets on you to be able to do that. Now the good thing is that the 3 skills in the Mercenary tree that use the pistol, none of them actually require a bullet. So the only time you're actually using a bullet is on your basic fire reload skill. To start off the video, I'm going to give you guys an example of what the basic shot looks like out of combat as well as in combat. Loading your pistol is a long animation, so it's best to do before you get into the fight. Okay, so let's go up to the Mercenary trainer and take a look at some of the skills. If you are going to play this class and use the gun a lot, you're probably going to want at least 2 points into mana. Now I say this because 2 of the gun skills require mana, and you have to cast a boon before that also requires mana. If you only have 1 point into mana from Mount Conflux, then you're going to have to take a potion if you want to do both the skills in one fight. If you have 2 points in mana and your mana bar is full, you can use both skills in one fight. The first skill available in this tree in the bottom left is called the Shatter bullet. I'm going to read you guys the description, then we'll talk about it. So required is a pistol, and you have to have iron scraps on your guy as well. Load a bullet with high impact, which also inflicts pain. Shooting it requires the use of the fire reload skill. This skill requires iron scraps. You don't need bullets at all. You just have to have iron scraps in your inventory, preferably some in your pocket so you can take off your backpack while you fight. So when you use the Shatter bullet, it consumes 1 iron scrap, and it puts that type of bullet into your gun, and then you're going to go ahead and use your fire reload skill, and it's going to shoot that bullet. This skill requires no mana or stamina at all. It deals high impact on your target, and it oftentimes will stagger your target back so you can move in for a melee or load your gun for another shot. The pain status that it inflicts on your enemy also reduces their physical resistance, so it just makes your next couple shots or attacks with a melee a lot more powerful. So here's an example of Shatter bullet outside of combat and in combat. We just imbued the weapon. Now let's take a look at the status effect. Over here on the bottom you can see Shatter bullet imbue. When shot will inflict high impact and pain on enemies. So now all we have to do is use the regular fire reload skill on our enemy and it will shoot the Shatter bullet. So the Shatter bullet is probably my most used skill because it has the fastest load animation. Some of the other skills take a long time, and then when you're in combat and you're running from the enemy and you try to load your pistol, the enemy will oftentimes close in on you. With the Shatter bullet, you can usually get your pistol loaded. The second gun-related skill in the Mercenary tree is called the Frost bullet. This requires a pistol as well as the cool boon. Load the pistol with a bullet that makes a short distance blast, which slows enemies. It removes the cool boon upon use. Shooting it requires the use of the fire reload skill. So the frost bullet requires the cool boon to be active on your character before you're able to use it. Now you can get the cool boon from Mount Conflux where you got your mana bar. One of the watchers down below sells it, I believe, for 50 silver. So using the cool boon will cost your character 8 mana, but using the frost bullet will cost nothing. When you use the frost bullet, the main thing it basically does is slow your enemy down, which can be very good when you're playing a ranged class such as the Mercenary. Once you put the frost effect on your gun, which I'm going to do right now, it will stay on your gun even if you go to sleep or whatever you do hours later. If you don't use the gun, it will stay on your gun. So you can go ahead and cast this when you're in the city, so your gun's already imbued with the frost effect before you go out and journey. So let's take a look at the status effect here. One shot will deal frost damage, inflict slowdown, and cripple on enemies. So I go ahead and put this on my gun and then in the city, and then when I go out, it'll be the first attack that I use on an enemy. Here's a couple examples of the frost bullet outside of combat as well as in combat. First, I have to use the Boon of Cold. Once that's active, now I can go ahead and use the frost bullet skill and imbue my weapon with the frost bullet. Now let's go ahead and shoot it with the fire reload skill. Okay, so the third and final gun skill in the Mercenary tree is called the Blood Bullet. This is my personal favorite, and it's one of the few skills in the game that actually allow you to heal yourself. The description of the Blood Bullet reads as, mana cost 12. Requires a pistol as well as the possessed boon to be active on your character. Absorb the enemy's life into your pistol as a blood bullet, healing yourself. Shooting it requires the use of the fire reload skill. The first thing with the blood bullet is that it requires the possessed boon, and I will bring up a map of the starting area to show you guys the cave where the Immaculate character is, and you can go ahead and talk to him and ask him for his special power, and he will give you the possessed boon. So here's the Immaculate on the Chersonese map. If you guys are coming from Sierzo, you take the road right here, south towards Mount Conflux. And basically when you meet the fork in the road, you're going to go directly left, right into here, and I'll make a little arrow, and the Immaculate's right up here in the caves. It'll be pretty obvious. There's kind of like a path to him. Once you have the possessed boon and cast it on yourself, you get the possessed effect, which gives you DK damage and resistance plus 20%. This skill will stay active on you for 240 seconds. So within that time, you can cast the Blood Bullet. The possessed boon costs 8 mana, and then using the Blood Bullet costs 12. So that's 20 mana right there alone, just using these two skills. And if you go ahead and use the Frost Bullet in this sequence as well, you're using 28 mana. So that's why I say having 2 points in mana is nice, because then you don't have to worry about taking that potion. So when you use the Blood Bullet, the first thing that it does is it pulls life from your enemy and gives it to yourself. Typically, it'll heal me for about 40 of the enemy's health. And then after that, your gun is imbued with a Blood Bullet, and you can go ahead and fire that back at the target, and it deals high damage. So here is the Blood Bullet outside of combat. First, I have to cast the Possessed Boon. Once that's active, I can now use the Blood Bullet, and the first part of it is this. And that basically sucks the life out of your enemy and gives it to yourself. So after you've taken the life from your enemy and put it into your health bar as well as your gun, your pistol now looks like that. And you can use the fire reload skill to fire the bullet back at them. And it looks like that. Okay, so here's the Blood Bullet in combat. If you'll notice in the bottom left, my health bar is down a little bit. And now I have full health, and my enemy is low, and I can fire the Blood Bullet back. Okay, so the more boring skills that the Mercenary class offers is, in the bottom right here you have Fast Maintenance. You repair your equipment 50% faster when you allocate time to repairing in the Rest menu. So when you sleep, it requires far less hours to repair the equipment that you have equipped on your character. The skill above that is called Armor Training. Decrease the stamina and movement penalties from wearing armor by 50%. So you can wear basically any armor in the game that you want, and it's not going to have really a negative movement effect on you when you have armor training on. Some armor will decrease your movement speed, so this kind of neutralizes, so you can wear heavier armor but still move fast. So the breakthrough passive skill in the middle, for 500 silver, is called Swift Foot. Your movement speed is increased by 10%. So that's just a nice skill to have. You're just going to move 10% faster, which makes it a lot easier when you're trying to run from your enemy to load your pistol. The skill above this is so good. And I know some of my friends went into the Mercenary tree even though they don't use pistols because they wanted this skill. So this skill is called the Marathoner. Sprinting consumes 40% less stamina. This makes a huge difference when you're out in the world. You can sprint for so much longer, and it feels like your stamina is not draining at all. So it's just a really nice skill to have. So you might want to invest into the Mercenary skill even if you're not going to use the gun skills, because your character is just going to have these movement and sprint bonuses that it wouldn't normally have. So the Marathoner skill, I believe, sells for 600 silver. And the top skill up here, both the top skills also sell for 600 silver. And the other skill besides Blood Bullet, you have to choose one or the other, is called Shield Infusion. This one costs 5 stamina, has a cooldown of 1 minute. It requires a shield. So block an elemental attack. When you next block, an elemental explosion will burst from you. I wish I had footage of this. If anybody watches this video and you guys have used Shield Infusion, comment below your experience with it or what kind of effect it kind of does to your character. I wish I had an example, but I don't, because I just didn't buy that skill and I don't have a friend who's using it. Some final thoughts on the Mercenary class is you're going to need mana, so I put 2 points of mana into my character. And I was even thinking about going to the Philosopher Trainer and buying the passive skill, the Breakthrough passive skill, that regens your mana at 0.15, I think, per second. I didn't want to do this, but it might be nice not having to take potions and just having your mana regen on its own. And also, you need stamina with this class as well. So one way that I got really good use of my stamina is buying the Trader Garb, which is sold in Berg. And if you look at my armor here, the Master Trader Garb has a minus 10% stamina cost, and your movement speed is up 5%. In the boots, your movement speed is up 15%, and your stamina cost minus 5%. With the Trader boots, the Trader chest piece, as well as the passive skill on the Mercenary tree, your guy is moving 30% faster than other people running around that don't have these skills. This is really good because the reload times for the pistol and the way you use the pistol requires you to get away from the enemy, and it takes time to use these skills before you can shoot them at your enemy. Okay, so that's it for the Mercenary Gunslinger class. I will show you guys the pistol that I bought for 1500 silver right here. It does damage 86, 65 impact. I cannot wait to use this and see how much better it is than the pistol that I used in the video before in combat. I hope you guys have as much fun with the Gunslinger class as I am right now. And please subscribe, and I hope to see you guys soon.